Good evening, everybody. My name is Rosenthal. Hope you're all having a great time tonight. So I'm really glad to be back here in Eugene. I had a great time on spring break, but the entire time that I was on spring break, I sort of had this thought in the back of my mind that I was kind of dreading the flight back. Not because I'm scared of air travel, but just because I'm kind of one of those people that's allergic to bullshit. And let's face it, if you're allergic to bullshit, you should really rather go to a rodeo than have to deal with air travel. Particularly with airport security. And I'm not saying that it's not an important thing, because I think we all know that airport security is important. But some of these regulations that they have now are honestly just ridiculous. They make you, at this point now, not only do you have to take your shoes out, but they make you put your shoes separately on the belt. You can't even put them in a box. So when I go through, I have to put my shoes on the belt, my laptop in a box. If I have crap in my pockets, I gotta put that in another box, and then my backpack's gotta be in a box. And it takes, even at the Eugene airport, it takes like 15 minutes to get through security, and there's 12 other people there. But, even though they don't let you take liquids on, which is a whole other story, it's really surprising me to find out some of the things you can take on board. For example, you cannot take a 20-ounce bottle of Pepsi on board, but you can take a lighter. I think we need to rethink our priorities a little bit. But, there is one thing that I absolutely love about air travel, and that's the safety presentation at the beginning of the plane ride, because it sort of brings me back to the time in elementary school when we would all have a substitute teacher, and no one would pay attention to what the fuck they were saying. Because you've got the flight attendants at the front of the plane saying these things, and you gotta feel sorry for them, because they say the same thing over and over and over again, and absolutely nobody is watching them. Nobody's reading the safety cards. You want to get your last 10 minutes of cell phone conversation in while you still can. But, my last note about airplane safety is I think it's kind of a joke that they make you wear seatbelts. Because when you wear a seatbelt in a car, it's to prevent you from, if you hit another car, from flying out the windshield. But if you're in the air, a commercial airliner is going to blow up if it hits anything. So the seatbelt, honestly, from once you take off, and then from the time you land to the time you're at the gate, that's one thing, but when you're in the air, it's kind of a crock that they even have any kind of a seatbelt sign. My last note on this, when I first wrote, I actually wrote this bit on the plane. I first wanted to put a bit about airline food in, and then I realized that as a stand-up comic, if I was going to make any kind of a joke about airline food, was the absolute rock bottom that I could have hit, because it's the complete cliche and stereotype of a stand-up comic to talk about airline food. So I obviously had to take that out and put the other stuff in. So that's that story. I want to thank you all for putting up with me again. Have a good evening.